Look around you, America. Gas prices have fallen for the fourth straight week. Egg prices down $3.45 a dozen. Manufacturing output surging 0.7% in February. Auto sector exploding with 8.5% growth. These aren't just statistics. They are the sound of Democrat narratives drowning under the weight of Trump's success. And farmers across America are feeling the charge. Yes, Biden's policies left them hanging, but Trump's America First approach is already delivering real results. Remember when they mocked Make America Great Again? Well, the numbers don't lie. The Democrat ship is taking on water, and Captain Trump is at the helm of America's spectacular comeback, and this is only the beginning. And as I sit here in Washington, D.C. today, I'm watching a major shift happening. De-dollarization isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. China and other BRICS nations are terrified of President Trump, making them more determined to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar. Their weapon of choice is gold. China has resumed buying gold, and they're deliberately underreporting their purchases. Think about that. They recognize gold's global value and ability to withstand economic turbulence. And why? Because gold is tangible, it's reliable, and it's immune to economic manipulation. Nations are preparing for what's coming. They just don't want you to know it. But this isn't just about countries. It's about protecting your family's future. And Noble Gold Investments can help you secure your finances with gold. So visit nextnewsgold.com today. Or call that number 877-646-5347, and qualified accounts receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins. That's nextnewsgold.com. You'll find it linked in the description, and we thank Noble Gold Investments for their support of this program and you guys watching and sharing everything we do. Okay, so it was an amazing moment outside the White House. So much happened today. I'm going to break it all down for you, but I just published this video moments after I went into the upper press room and met the whole team up there. I heard President Trump in the Oval Office. I met Caroline Leavitt. She walked around a corner, right into me. I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway, here's my immediate reaction right as I left the White House.
Holy cow. Holy cow. Look at my face. Look at the sun I got today. Holy cow. But that's not the real story. I just went into the upper press room. And I introduced myself to the press secretary's assistants. And I'm introducing myself to the whole upper press team, because I had submitted a question to the assistant press secretary about what's going on in Deerfield with the woman who had her daughter was forced to change clothes in front of males in the locker room, and they were forced to do this. So I was trying to get a comment from them. So she referred me, they sent it down to the lower press room, and I'd never been up in the upper press before. And so I go past Secret Service, and then I'm about to leave the upper press room. I met Stephen Chung. That guy's awesome. I thanked him for opening the press room for us. And then as I'm about to leave, I turn to my left, and there's the press secretary. And I literally just lost my breath. I'm like, anyway, it was just a pretty cool moment. Anyway, I just so I introduced myself to her again, and she asked me who I was with, and I told her Next News Network and 2.25 million followers, and then the Secret Service officer had told me that behind this door is the Oval Office. And I'm like, what? Really? So as I'm leaving the upper press, someone comes walking out of that door, and I could just hear President Trump's voice just booming from the Oval Office. Oh man, it was the coolest thing I'd ever experienced. Oh man, anyway, I just want to share that moment. I'm still kind of starstruck by it, as you could tell. Anyway, so it's been a long day here. I got to get my show started. And yeah, so here's the press is all getting their stuff set up for their evening shots, and I got to go do my evening shots. My producers, Todd is waiting for me, Brian's waiting for me, the studio's waiting for me. And we got protesters out here. They've been out here all day. So, wild stuff. Love you guys.
So as I was when I heard Trump, I heard his voice, and I saw I looked at the Secret Service guy at his post, and I go, did I just hear President Trump? And he goes, yeah, I think you did. He's pretty loud. Oh man! And then seeing Caroline Leavitt like just walk around the corner, and she was like this far away from me. I'm like, literally like my breath was taken away. I'm just like, like I gasped. Like I'm like it was. I don't know how she took it, but I said, hey, Caroline, I said we're here. We're your biggest cheerleaders. We're gonna fight the fake news and we're gonna smash it, and that's what we're here for. So it was great to meet her and Stephen Chung too, and just crazy experience today. I'm still kind of like just whoa after what just happened. And then here's the report that I filed earlier, just before that. Bombshells from the White House. Trump pulled Secret Service from Hunter and Ashley Biden. No more taxpayer-funded security. 80,000 JFK files set to drop. Deep state in panic mode. And where are the Epstein docs? Bombshells incoming.
Yanked secrets. This is Gary Franchi reporting from the White House with the Next News Network. Folks, it's March 18th, 2025, and I'm just outside the briefing room where fake news gets churned out daily. But not us. Next News is still standing, cutting through the lies. And today's rundown, well, it is a gut punch. Let's start with this. Trump just yanked Secret Service protection from Hunter and Ashley Biden, effective yesterday. Hunter had 18 agents tailing him on some South African vacation. Ashley had 13. Trump posted it on Truth Social, calling it ridiculous taxpayer waste. And he's right. Why are we babysitting Joe's grown kids? Hunter's 55, Ashley's 45. No threats, no reason, just privilege. Trump's done it before. X details for Bolton, Pompeo, Fauci, and now the Bidens are on their own. And X is lit up. Some cheer, some cry foul me. Well, I say good riddance to the gravy train. The next bombshell, 80,000 JFK files dropped today, unredacted. Deputy Press Secretary Harrison Field says we will be shocked. Shocked? After 60 years of cover-ups, lone gunman fairy tales, this could blow the lid off it all. CIA, mob, something uglier? Well, the deep state's squirming, and we are watching. But where are the Epstein files? Well, Trump has hinted at them. Attorney General Pam Bondi is sitting on a truckload with FBI boss Kash Patel. Names, dates, the whole sick mess. Epstein's cronies, abused kids, and he dies in jail. Yeah, right. We're still waiting. Release them now. Overseas, Trump's 90-minute call with Putin locked in a 30-day Ukraine ceasefire. No bombs on pipelines or power plants. Peace talks start fast. Some call to win. Others say he's soft. Well, he's juggling that while Wall Street tanks over his tariff push. Tax imports save jobs. Well, it does make sense to me. And here at home, Trump hit Paul Weiss, a New York law firm, yanked their clearances, banned them from government buildings. Security, he says, tyranny, they cry. Courts will slug it out, but deportations will hundreds of alleged gang members shipped to El Salvador under an old wartime law. Judge couldn't stop it. Tough, yes. Needed, you bet. And military is flexing too. Photos of Trump eyeing Yemen strikes on Houthi targets, protecting our ships, with Marco Rubio's stone face beside him. SEC pick Paul Atkins. Well, hearings March 27, and crypto fans thinks he's going to free up Bitcoin, and Wall Street's getting nervous. Oh, and the White House has used Seismonic's closing time for a deportation video. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Band's mad, X is split, classic Trump troll. And let's last say here he's slashing government. 100,000 jobs cut, foreign aid, frozen programs gone. Lean government or power grab? Well, the unions hate it, and I say it's about time. And that's the White House today. Hunter and Ashley dumped. JFK files almost out. Epstein, yes, still hidden. Next News Network fighting the fake news right here at the White House. Share this, subscribe. We're not shutting up. This is Gary Franchi. out.
Okay, so there's my report from the White House today. Man, I got to tell you, it is a thrill. It is an absolute thrill to be there. Here we have, this is 3 hours ago, rapid response. Trump just signed an official memorandum removing radical DEI from the Foreign Service, and the text says Section 1 policy purpose over the last 4 years, divisive and discriminatory policies were systematically embedded into every part of the federal government, including hiring processes, employee performance evaluations in the Foreign Service. It is the policy of the federal government that hiring in foreign policy positions like hiring in all other parts of the government shall be solely based on merit. President Trump restoring merit-based hiring to the federal government. Here we have James Woods posting this. They keep threatening violence against our president and the vast majority of peaceful Americans who voted for him and gave him the mandate he's following. When they threaten him, they are threatening us. What's going on here? Now, there was, let's see.
The opportunity to get this man out of here now. But if that doesn't happen, and we're not promoting it for 1 second, but if that doesn't happen, there will be violence. Yes. And these people had the opportunity to stop it. And they didn't.
And notice how she's like, well, we're not promoting it. Well, of course you are. Like, don't think you can, couch that little phrase with,
there will be violence. It for 1 second. But if that doesn't happen, and we're not promoting it for one.
Yeah, sure. No, that's exactly what you're doing there, honey. What else we've got? Newsweek reporting gas prices fell for the fourth straight week on Monday and are likely to continue sliding below $3 per gallon, according to experts. Here is a hit on Fox.
Dozen as of yesterday. Egg prices dropping in the U.S. for a third straight week. They're down to $3.45 per dozen as of yesterday. Now, prices surged up above $8 last month, but they've steadily declined since the calendar flipped from February to March.
Donald Trump making eggs great again. And here we have the vice president. He's explaining in 3 minutes why the experiment of globalization failed. Let's listen.
Of things from because there were two conceits that our leadership class had when it came to globalization. The first is assuming that we can separate the making of things from the design of things. The idea of globalization was that rich countries would move further up the value chain while the poor countries made the simpler things. You would open an iPhone box and it would say designed in Cupertino, California. Now, the implication, of course, is that it would be manufactured in Shenzhen or somewhere else. And yeah, some people might lose their jobs in manufacturing, but they could learn to design, or to use a very popular phrase, learn to code. But I think we got it wrong. It turns out that the geographies that do the manufacturing get awfully good at the designing of things. There are network effects, as you all well understand. The firms that design products work with firms that manufacture. They share intellectual property, they share best practices, and they even sometimes share critical employees. Now, we assume that other nations would always trail us in the value chain, but it turns out that as they got better at the low end of the value chain, they also started catching up on the higher end. We were squeezed from both ends. Now, that was the first conceit of globalization. I think the second is that cheap labor is fundamentally a crutch, and it's a crutch that inhibits innovation. I might even say that it's a drug that too many American firms got addicted to. Now, if you can make a product more cheaply, it's far too easy to do that rather than to innovate. And whether we were offshoring factories to cheap labor economies or importing cheap labor through our immigration system, cheap labor became the drug of Western economies. And I'd say that if you look in nearly every country from Canada to the UK that imported large amounts of cheap labor, you've seen productivity stagnate. I don't think that's not a total happenstance. I think that the connection is very direct. Now, one of the debates you hear on the minimum wage, for instance, is that increases in the minimum wage force firms to automate. So a higher wage at McDonald's means more kiosks. And whatever your views on the wisdom of the minimum wage, I'm not going to comment on that here. Companies innovating in the absence of cheap labor is a good thing. I think most of you are not worried about getting cheaper and cheaper labor. You're worried about innovating, about building new things, about the old formulation of technology is doing more with less. You guys are all trying to do more with less every single day. And so I'd ask my friends, both on the tech optimist side and on the populist side, not to see the failure of the logic of globalization as a failure of innovation. Indeed, I'd say that globalization's hunger for cheap labor is a problem precisely because it's been bad for innovation. Both our working people, our populists, and our innovators gathered here today have the same enemy, and I believe is American innovation.
Okay, let's keep going. We have more from the Vice President talking about the AI. Real innovation makes us more productive, but it also dignifies our workers. Let's listen.
To be American. I spoke at a conference in Paris last month where my message to a group of CEOs and foreign leaders was that we should embrace the future head on. We shouldn't be afraid of artificial intelligence. And that particularly for those of us lucky enough to be Americans, we shouldn't be fearful of productive new technologies. In fact, we should seek to dominate them. And that's certainly what this administration wants to accomplish. I suspect that most of you in this room are of like mind. And if you're not, I don't know why the hell you're at the American Dynamism Conference. But I received some pushback from people who are worried about the disruptive effects of AI. One journalist suggested the speech highlighted the tension between the, quote, techno-optimists and the populist right of President Trump's coalition. And today, I'd like to speak to these tensions as a proud member of both tribes. And let me put it simply. While this is a well-intentioned concern, I think it's based on a faulty premise. This idea that tech-forward people and the populists are somehow inevitably going to come to a loggerheads is wrong. I think the reality is that in any dynamic society, technology is going to advance, of course. And speaking as a Catholic, I think back to Pope John Paul II's opening lines of the encyclical Labor Amixarens, quote, "Through work, man must earn his daily bread and contribute to the continual advance of science and technology, and above all, to elevating unceasingly the cultural and moral level of the society within which he lives," end quote. Now, I quote the Holy Father not only because I'm a fan of his, but also because he rightly understood that in a healthy economy, technology should be something that enhances rather than supplants the value of labor. And I think there's too much fear that AI will simply replace jobs rather than augmenting so many of the things that we do. Now, in the 1970s, if you go back a little ways, many feared that the automated teller machine, what we call the ATM, would replace bank tellers. In reality, the advent of the ATM made bank tellers more productive, and you have more people today working in customer service in the financial sector than you had when the ATM was created. Now they're doing slightly different jobs, of course. Yes, they're doing more interesting tasks also, and importantly, they're making more money than they were in the 1970s. Now, when we innovate, we do sometimes cause labor market disruptions. That happens. But the history of American innovation is that we tend to make people more productive, and then we increase their wages in the process. And I think all of us believe that's a good thing. Now, after all, who would claim that man was made less productive by the invention of the transistor, or the metal lathe, or the steam engine? Real innovation makes us more productive, but it also, I think, dignifies our workers. It boosts our standard of living. It strengthens our workforce and the relative value of its labor. And as Americans, all of us should be particularly proud of our extraordinary heritage. I think it is American heritage of inventing things, and of our nation's status to this day as the world's foremost driver of research and development. I spoke at a
Wow, amazing words there from the Vice President. Don't be afraid of AI and innovation, because it can help supplement and support whatever it is you're doing. I mean, I use it, and I think it's a great tool. There's so much we can learn and so much we can use to advance our own productivity. We've got more. This is the Vice President discussing globalization's hunger for cheap labor is a problem.
And our innovators, I'd ask my friends, both on the tech optimist side and on the populist side, not to see the failure of the logic of globalization as a failure of innovation. Indeed, I'd say that globalization's hunger for cheap labor is a problem precisely because it's been bad for innovation. Both our working people, our populists, And our innovators gathered here today have the same enemy. And the solution, I believe, is American innovation. Because in the long run, it's technology that increases the value of labor. Innovations like the American system and the interchangeable parts revolution it sparked, or Ford's moving assembly line that skyrocketed the productivity of our workers. That's how American industry became the envy of the world. And that's what I really want to talk about today, why innovation is key to winning the worldwide manufacturing competition, to giving our workers a fair deal, and to reclaiming our heritage via America's great industrial comeback. And I believe that's what we're on the cusp of, a great American industrial comeback. I'd ask...
Yeah, the great American industrial comeback is happening right now. Here we have Amuse posting this. War. Trump has taken the fight to the Houthis. Biden allowed the Houthis to fire ballistic missiles at the Navy. U.S. commercial shipping for over 4 years. Trump is ending that. Look at them. There's our Navy right there taking action. Yeah, taking no crap from the Houthis. Massive bombs dropped over the weekend. Here we have Nick Adams posting, the American people are smitten with President Trump and his star-studded cabinet. Oh, this is CNN. Oh, look at Ana Navarro and look at their faces, just sourpuss faces. I mean, why can't they just say, you know what? Yeah, he's doing a good job. Like, why do they have to just grind and hold their position and just look at the numbers? I mean, even CNN has to report the numbers, right?
Hey, Karen. Yes, my fellow people are actually excited. NBC News on Meet the Press, they reported.
I mean, look at Ana Navarro. She's like, yeah.
People are actually excited. NBC News on Meet the Press, they reported their polling found the highest level of enthusiasm and the country going in the right direction since 2004, 20 years. So President Trump is doing exactly what he campaigned on. That's why 76% of people said, according to CBS polling, agreed with his State of the Union speech, which included a lot of independents and a lot of Democrats who were watching that speech.
Carrie.
That is why...
Carrie, my namesake, Carrie.
Yes, my fellow Carrie.
You do know what you're saying is incorrect. I don't care about the polling.
Talk to
the
NBC.
American. I don't care what NBC is saying. I can talk to the people on the streets. Are you on the streets? Are you talking
Absolutely,
to people in real life situations who have everyday jobs who are saying they're unhappy? You know very well.
Are you saying CNN polling is wrong?
No. What I'm saying is,
Joe
don't
Biden
do me. Don't try me today, Scotty.
We
what I'm saying to
put
you
out a
is that
CNN
you
poll.
know
Are you
by
saying our
and
polling
large.
is wrong?
No, what I'm saying to you is that by and large people are not happy.
No, they're very happy. They're unhappy with Democrats.
You're happy.
They're happy with Trump.
You're happy. Democrats aren't happy. We're not happy with Democrats and the way they're handling
Let me try to sort this out real quick before we have to go to break.
People are actually excited.
Wait. You mean you disagree with our own CNN polling? Here we have this too. The Supreme Court. This just in also. The Supreme Court just sided with Donald Trump blocking the lower court order forcing Trump to give aid to foreign countries. There's some readers' context. Supreme Court issued no decision overturning what? It made no indication it would backtrack on its own. What is this? Oh, and of course they cite NPR. Nice. Here we have Wayne Dupree. The Trump administration may ban travel from 41 countries. A leaked memo reveals Afghanistan, Iran, North Korea could face full visa suspensions. Others like Haiti, Myanmar face partial bans. Some nations get 60 days to fix the issues. What do you think? Yeah, Trump administration may ban travel from dozens of countries, memos reveal. Yeah, we're going to hear I can hear the talking points. Travel ban, racist, xenophobic. Yeah, get ready for that. That's going to come if this actually comes to fruition. Rapid response 47, U.S. industrial production surges in February to record level, led by manufacturing and autos. Here's more. Total industrial production across the economy rose 0.7% in February, smashing expectation. Manufacturing output rose 0.9%, and the auto sector came roaring back. Motor vehicle and parts output rose 8.5% after averaging negative 0.5% in Biden's administration. So just look at the numbers again. Gas prices falling, egg prices dropping, manufacturing surging, auto production booming, real wages rising. The narrative peddled by the corporate media and the Democrat operatives for years is crumbling before our eyes. I mean, you saw their faces when confronted with the actual numbers, sourpusses, all over there at CNN. So Trump's promise, okay, of an economic comeback is happening. And barely 2 months in, he is delivering exactly that. And when the results are this clear, is it any wonder the left is panicking? Their entire political strategy depends on Americans suffering. And now they're watching their power base erode as everyday Americans see their lives improving. And of course, the JFK files finally being released, revealing decades of deception. We're seeing the truth about who actually delivers prosperity. The question is, will Americans finally recognize which party genuinely wants them to succeed and which one needs their suffering to maintain power? Drop a comment below and grab yourself a Next News Network coffee mug or a hat from our merch store and enjoy your morning brew while watching the Democrat ship sink. Linked down below.